Kristen, do we have any correspondence?
We do, Mike. We have a nice thank you note from Kathy Atkins, the librarian for Murphy, on her retirement. She was thanking us for the nice clock. So we appreciate Kathy's note.
Oh, great, thank you. It's at this time in our agenda that we invite members from the public to speak to the board on any item that's not currently in our agenda. Do we have anyone tonight? Charlie?
Ooh. Wow.
Hi, board members.
You've been waiting to do this.
You know, I really don't know if this is on your agenda or not.
It's an alumni night.
Yeah, an alumni, right. I just wanted to come up and thank Mike for his 4 years on the board and Scott for his 20 years of service to the school board and Hazlet Public Schools. You guys have been great. I worked with you for many years, and your institutional knowledge will certainly be missed by this board, but I'm sure that the board, which is many capable members now, will continue on just fine. But thank you. You're friends, and you're also great school board members, so thank you.
Thank you, Charlie.
Thanks, Charlie. Is there anyone else who would like to speak to the board tonight?
Isn't this when we should read that poem?
Can we back up just a tad, Mr. President?
Okay.
I have some correspondence here.
He was going to try to let it go by.
I would assume you have it as well,
I have
but
one.
since you didn't read it, I guess I think it should be read. First off, you probably can't see me because I have some flowers here in front of me for,
It's a much better picture.
and just, And although this is in 20 years, this is probably the best the camera's got of me. It's got 5 roses to honor 5 terms for 5 of your most loyal supporters who have been with you from the beginning. This is from my wife and my 4 kids. So those are my 4. Those are my 5 roses. Whoops. And I was told by Cheryl that I had to leave these in front of me because my wife is watching on TV. And now, well, yeah. And now the second correspondence, I see the author is here. Maybe she'd like to read this, or no? Okay. Well, because I can't read some of the words in it here. And it's not that they're so big; it's just that they're so foreign. But at any rate, I thought we ought to at least acknowledge Mary's poem writing ability. Because years ago, and most of the board members here won't remember, but Mary used to be quite proficient in these little forays into poetry, because we had some trying times, and I think Mary was a keen watcher of what was going on and decided that maybe a poem or two would lighten up the mood, and it usually did. But she's taken a long time off. I'd like to, and I think in our discussion 2 weeks ago, we kind of hit on that, and lo and behold, what a surprise. Here is one in front of us here tonight. So it says here, the time is at hand to bid you adieu, goodbye, adios, and I don't know how to pronounce this. Auf Wiedersehen too.
It's called Auf Wiedersehen.
Auf Wiedersehen, is that what that says? Oh, I know, okay, wow, spelled different, okay. And Auf Wiedersehen too. I wanted to send you a thank you in rhyme that you'll read as a board member for the last time. I thank you for effort and time and attention to all of those matters that now I won't mention. I'm sorry to see that you're taking your leave. You've done a great job, that I truly believe. I'm glad you were here. I hope you are too, to accomplish those things that you set out to do. Your replacements are eagerly waiting their chance. Can they fill your shoes? Well, maybe perchance. May your memories be fond of the time you have served as you go on your way, a rest greatly deserved. I am proud to send you this thank you to you. Goodbye, adios, auf Wiedersehen, and adieu. Mary Sudbury. Thanks, Mary. Back to you, Mike.
We have a couple of special presentations.
We do. We have, first of all, we have Mark Messina with us this evening, and he is recognized for his football accomplishments during the 2004 season. Mark was the Associated Press Class B All-State kicker this past fall, the Lansing State Journal Class B All-Area, and the Lansing Capital Area Activities Conference All-League. And he's joined by his parents, Dr. Edmund Messina and Jane Messina, and Jamie Gent is going to make a presentation. And then I'd like to get some pictures if we can.
I'm not going to really make the presentation. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Mark. We've all gone to football games. We all know that there's 22 people out there from playing at one time, and they can go a whole game where everybody notices them. But Mark decides to play a position where we stop the game, we call timeout, we look at everybody and we walk him out in the middle of the field, we line him up, and we put 11 guys running him trying to block the ball. And he not only did this to an exceptional level, but he didn't start doing it until he was a sophomore in high school. He came out as a sophomore and decided to be a kicker. And it's a really difficult thing to do. Everybody looks, well, I can do that, but it's really not. It's very tough, especially when you start lining those guys up across the line from you and they start running at you. Coaches start screaming, fans start screaming, people start screaming. Mark did what he had to do. He went to classes, went to summer camps, worked in the off season. Every time I walked by the field, I'd see him kicking. I'd have to go out there every time. Charlie said, "Get the guys off the field." So I'd walk. I said, "It's your own kicker out there. What are you gonna do about that?" So, but he was always working. Did a marvelous job, and he did make the championship team and did do the things we needed to do. And Mark, on behalf of the Board of Education, do I do this? Or okay, on behalf of the Board of Education, I don't know.
You're on the roll, man. Keep going.
On behalf of the Board of Education, I want to congratulate you and present you with this plaque that we displayed at the high school in your honor as being a tremendous athlete and a tremendous inspiration to a lot of the students to follow you here at Haslett High School.
Congratulations, Mark. Can we get your folks up here for a picture?
Where are you going, Mark? IU?
No, he's just going.
IU.
Oh, Western Michigan, yeah.
Western?
Yeah.
No, I thought I heard IU.
No,
No.
Western's better. They took our money for the last 5 years.
In football, they're probably better too.
Not saying much there, Carter.
Not saying
Not
much.
saying much there. Thank you.
Did you get a chance to get a shot?
Faster than
Did you get a shot over there? Hey, Brian, did you get a good shot?
It's his camera though.
Yeah, yeah.
No, I'm taking a picture, I can take.
I can see it. Yeah, this is the hardest part of the season right here.
Alright, yeah, I could have done it without my parents, so. It's great.
Wise words.
Yeah,
That's a
that
good
was
start.
good. That was real good.
And I don't know, it was great, it was a lot of fun doing it, and I was really happy that I got rewarded, I guess. And yeah, that's about it. Really, thanks, coaches.
We appreciate that.
And then we have another special presentation this evening, and apparently these two guys are best friends. Is that true? We have Jonathan Smith, who is was awarded one of the Michigan Youth Arts Festival Outstanding Instrumental Soloist for 2005, and his folks are here as well, John Dale Smith and Janine Smith. So, David, I think you're going to do the presentation.
Well, good evening. This young man I've had the pleasure of knowing the past 2 years, and what we had happen over this last year, starting back in February, was just truly exceptional. Of all of the students that went through district solo and ensemble, Jonathan played a wonderful solo, got a first division and advanced to the state level. And after that had happened, he was one of 2 nominations from his adjudicator from playing his solo and his proficiency at state solo and ensemble to have the opportunity to audition for Michigan Youth Arts Festival Outstanding Soloist. There were about 180 that were nominated throughout the entire state. Of course, because you have to play the solo from memory and it's such a high level of competition, and it's usually over spring break, which it fell right in the middle of ours. He traveled up to a great school, Central Michigan University, had to throw that in there, and performed for a panel of judges, and from all of the different sections, he was one of the 10 finalists. So then in the afternoon, he, along with his dad playing accompaniment, of course, very, very fortunate to have you, played again, and as one of the 10 finalists, he became one of the 4 outstanding soloists in the state. It's so rare to have that happen in a school district, this size. You might have one student do this in 15, 20 years or more, and I believe from the research, at least as far back as 1982, is as far back as we could go, we had not had one. on behalf of the Hazlet Board of Education, salutes your selection as one of the Michigan Youth Arts Festival Outstanding Instrumental Solos. Your perseverance and excellence and your dedication to your school and community are admired and respected. May your instrumental record serve as an inspiration to all Hazlet students today and in the future. Congratulations.
All right.
Almost done.
All right.
I'm going to University of Michigan next year, and I'm going to be studying classical percussion. And it would make sense that I'd be doing that because of all the money my parents have spent on lessons for
Yes.
7 years, under multiple people. So I have to thank Mr. Gott, and I have to thank Mr. Wojcinki, Mr. Duda for everything. The availability of practicing in the room whenever I could get there. It was available to me. So I mean, all this opportunity for me has come from the area that I've been in. So I gotta thank you guys a lot. Thanks.
Thank you.
What instrument?
Thank you, folks.
Andrew, you had studied
All right.
classical drums here at MSU.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that clears the room.
Cheryl, could we get a, that's all right.
Charlie, thank you.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you. Yeah, the music guy gets to take his home. The athlete has to give it back to the athletic
That's
director.
right, exactly.
Something wrong with that picture, isn't it?
Okay, we'll move on to the superintendent's report.
Yes, sir.
It's lean times.
Well, if you don't know already, Mr. Galitas has accepted a superintendent position in Wyoming Godwin Heights and will be starting his new superintendent position August 1st of this year. I'm going to miss Valdi. He and I came in together 14 years ago, and he's a great administrator and somebody that I have a lot of respect for, and he moved that middle school forward at a time when I think it was, he was a person at the right time. And I think that my colleagues and former board members would agree that he truly will be missed at the middle school. He truly is an outstanding administrator. I had hoped that he could be here with us this evening, but he's working 2 jobs right now, so.
Selling his house.
We're in the process right now. We've posted this position, and the posting is up July 15th. We've put together a committee that's inclusive of about 8 adults and 3 administrators, 3 teachers, and some parents will be included on this committee, and we're going to do a statewide search. So we anticipate that we're going to have some great candidates for this position, but again, he's somebody that we're truly going to miss here in Hazlet. He's done an outstanding job. So, and then I have Mr. Scott McIntyre. As Charlie Brenneman pointed out, 20 years on the Board of Education, and Mr. Mike Thibodeau, 4 years of service on the board, will be leaving. This is their last board meeting this evening. And I think it goes without saying that both of these gentlemen are going to be missed dearly by this community as well as this board. And I know personally both of these folks have been very, very helpful for me in my first year, but very helpful as a principal as well as an assistant principal over the years in this district. And I want to thank both of them from the bottom of my heart. It's been a great, great run with both of you gentlemen, so thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike.
No problem.
That's it for me.
Well, we have no action items tonight, so we're going to move on to reports. And I'll take the first report is President's report, and for a review of, for the public of our session, our review of your evaluation, where we went into executive session. And to keep it tight, I wrote it, so I will read it. And then board members will be welcome to, add anything that they would at the end of the statement. On June 13th, this Board of Education went into closed session to evaluate and review Mr. Duda's performance as superintendent during the 2004-2005 school year. This evaluation was anchored in the 6 goals that Mr. Duda and the board agreed to use for this evaluation process at the beginning of the school year. These goals outline priority initiatives and mandates such as AYP, Education Yes, and Early Childhood Education. These goals also focused on the overall fiscal management of the district, including the oversight of our ongoing bond construction project. From the comments made during this meeting, it's obvious that the board is very pleased with the progress Mr. Duda has made in meeting these goals and his overall management of the district in his first year as superintendent. The board is especially pleased with the effort that Mr. Duda has made to get into the buildings on a weekly basis to meet with teachers and children in their classrooms. The foundation of trust he's developed within the district will serve us well as we work together to meet the challenges we face in the coming years with tight budgeting and declining enrollments. He has also worked hard to build a strong administrative team that will help us meet the challenges before us. In addition, Mr. Duda has networked with other educational leaders in our area to explore possible areas for mutual agreements. The board also took the opportunity to share ideas and concerns for future review and goal setting. These include the desire of the board to emphasize the use and integration of technology in every classroom and the development of a plan to foster and monitor progress in this area. The board would like Mr. Duda to continue his emphasis on maintaining a visible presence in our schools and community. Possible additions for the coming year would include a State of Hassett Schools address and a superintendent's webpage. The opening of the new MSU Lab preschool at Wilkshire this fall is an opportunity to recapture enrollment for future growth. How can we make the best of this opportunity? Is there an opportunity to offer more career-focused curriculum? And how will we meet the increasingly more stringent requirements of No Child Left Behind and adequate yearly progress in the future are some of the important issues raised during this meeting. As a board, we're very confident that Mr. Duda and his administrative team will be able to adequately address these issues and set priorities and goals for Hassett Public Schools in the coming year. That's just a review of the discussion that we had in our meeting, and I would ask any board members if there's anything that they'd like to add for the public comment at this time. And I would just, I don't want to cut that short, I just don't see anyone raising their hand. I would also like to say, without reading anything in front of me, that personally, as president of the board this year, I've been very pleased with your progress as your first year superintendent. And as a board as a whole, that we are very grateful for the work that you've done. You've given us 150% in your first year, and we really look forward to having you as our superintendent for many years to come. So you've had a great first year.
Thank you, Mike.
Moving on to committee reports, finance and facility.
We did meet. We did discuss the future contract of our superintendent, and action will be taken at a later date.
Okay. Policy and personnel?
Ditto, we met, and same thing, we discussed the contract. And action will be taken at a later date.
Okay. And is there anything else that board members would like to share for the good of the board? Bev?
I thought this would be a good time to mention that I've really enjoyed working publicly with you, Mike, on the board. I think your background in education has been extremely helpful to the board for the last 4 years, and we're really going to miss you. And to Scott, 20 years is a long time, and we are really going to miss you. We're going to miss your input at the meetings. We're going to miss your perspective and your experience. And hopefully you'll be watching on TV, and you can call us up and give us a hard time if we do it wrong at some point. But we are, yeah, we're really going to miss you. I just want you to know that. That's all I wanted to say.
Thanks, Bev. Anyone else?
Ditto.
Hey, speaking right up.
Yeah. Moving on to action items, we have 7 this evening. They are approval of the minutes from the June 13th meeting of the board. Number 2 is increase of school lunch prices for the 2005 and 6 school year. Number 3 is 2004 and 5 final budget amendments. Number 4 is the 2005-06 budget.
Yeah, we need to pull number
We need
two.
to,
It's
yes,
a little bit different.
yes, redundant.
Nope, we just titled that one wrong. And I
Yeah, it doesn't
apologize,
sync
Cheryl,
up.
that I didn't notice it when I.
Oh, it's
glanced at this
2005 and 6
earlier,
proposed
but
budget?
That's actually, number two is actually. the,
Government textbooks.
Textbooks.
Let me go to the front page and let's start from there.
All right.
I think it's probably more accurate.
That's what I was following.
Yeah, I apologize for not noticing that, Cheryl.
Okay, approval, let me start from the beginning. Number one, approval of the minutes from the June 13th meeting. Number two, the government textbook adoption recommendation. Number three, the 2004 and 5 final budget amendments. Number four, the 2005 and 6 proposed budget. Number five, increase of school lunch prices for the 2005 and 6 school year. Number 6 is the state aid note, and number 7 is acceptance of the Murphy carpet bid. And I would accept, well, first of all, is anybody
We don't
want
need to pull
discuss
number
it?
two to correct it?
Do we need to pull number 2?
What's the correct?
I don't know.
Well, this would be the government,
The title
That's
is actually
Charlie's.
the government
Yeah.
textbooks rather than the increase in school lunch prices.
couldn't that just be a friendly amendment, that we understand what the difference is?
We understand that,
Okay.
actually, let's vote on what's on the front page.
All right,
Going
cool.
off of that.
We'll use the
All right.
front page, through 7.
Sounds good to me.
No, we're waiting
Do
for
I-
quick draw.
It's a-
Oh, we need to make a motion?
Yes, a motion, I'm waiting for it. Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
We're letting the two short timers do all the move and supports tonight.
And then,
Getting all these
finally, the only, now I'm lost,
Announcements.
is announcement then. The next is, the only announcement is the next regularly scheduled meeting for this board will be on July 11th. It is the organizational meeting where officers will be elected. I would accept a motion to adjourn. So moved. Second? Second. All those in favor? Aye. We're adjourned.